You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
Welcome back, everybody, and good morning. Joining us now is Republican Party of Florida Chairman Lenny Curry. Good morning, Lenny. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good morning. Good to be here with you.
You just saw Tom's interview. You've seen the interview with President Obama and Tom Wills. What are your thoughts?
Well, first, it's professionalism of Tom that the President of the United States would ask him to come conduct the interview. But what I noticed in the interview was a theme amongst President Obama's answers. The answer to every question started with either a government job or a government program and a dollar sign. And what was missing at the end of every sentence is, how do we pay for this, and what role does the private sector and small business play, the engine of our economy, and growing the economy so we can fund these types of things.
You get invited to the White House. You get a chance to interview the president. What do you ask him?
You have been in office now for almost 4 years. You knew we had a spending and a debt problem when we came into office. You didn't focus on it. You focused on health care reform, which a majority of the Americans don't care for. And we have $16 trillion in debt. You said you would cut the deficit in half when you campaigned. We know that didn't happen. My question would be why?
I'm going to throw a number at you, incredible number. That surprised me. Mitt Romney was in Orlando this past week. This, according to the media outlet, was his 53rd event in Florida since getting into this campaign, more than a year, 2 years ago. That seems like that's a lot of time, and we still have many more months to go in this general election. It's pretty clear Romney's going to be spending a lot of time here in the Sunshine State.
Florida is arguably one of the most important swing states this election cycle. There are other important ones, North Carolina, Virginia, Florida, but Florida is one. In Jacksonville, the idea that the president would want an interview in this market tells you that President Obama viewed Duval County as an opportunity to put a stake in the ground. He came really close here in 2008, so it's going to be a tough-fought election in Duval County.
A lot of people think of Northeast Florida and Jacksonville as a red part of the state, but as you pointed out, 2008, I mean, the Republicans got a bit of a scare.
Did get a bit of a scare, and I believe some of that was, look, Obama's charismatic. He had a message of hope and change. A number of Republicans, I believe, people that I've talked to, voted for him, independents, right here in Duval County and in the state of Florida. I think he's lost them, not because he's a bad person, just because his policies haven't produced.
Do you think we're going to see a lot of Mitt Romney here in Northeast Florida? I mean, obviously he's going to spend a lot of money and a lot of time in Florida. Where do you see the Romney campaign focusing? I mean, are we going to see a lot of him in Jacksonville here?
We'll see a lot of him in Jacksonville. We've set up Victory offices. Our headquarters are in Tampa, the I-4 corridor. That's really where the swing voters will make their decision. But so you'll see a significant amount of time in the Orlando-Tampa market.
I want to ask you a question. I want you to be honest if you can.
Always.
Charlie Crist was in the news a lot this past week. Now, there have been rumblings, you won't see it in a media report, but, blogs and such online, that he may be making an appearance at the Democratic Convention, maybe gearing up for a run to become governor in 2014 against Rick Scott. Have you heard any of those whispers at all? Is there any legitimacy to that? Yeah,
I've heard it, and it wouldn't surprise me. Rick Scott campaigned on a very bold message. Let's get to work. And he's delivered on that message. The Florida economy is turning around under him. Unemployment is declining. We're creating jobs. And Floridians know that Charlie Crist is a chameleon. So if Charlie Crist gets in the race, it's pretty simple. My campaign message back is, you're going to like the chameleon or a governor that's delivered.
It's tough to switch parties. I mean, Joe Lieberman showed that. I mean, it's tough to switch parties and remain credible.
That's right.
But, a lot of people think Charlie Crist's career was over. Do you think he still has legs at all as a politician?
People like him. He's a nice person when you meet him, but he doesn't stand for anything. He's been on every side of every issue. Every side of every issue. Switch party. So he's gone from a Republican to an NPA and now maybe a Democrat.
Your convention, the Republican convention in August. Any plans? Anything notable at this point? We're still, 2 months out.
Yeah, we're going to have a number. It's going to just be a great week. A number of concerts, social events, obviously highlighting our nominee, Mitt Romney. And the cool thing for the state of Florida is there'll be about 50,000 people in attendance, about 15,000 media. That's second to the Olympics. So this is an opportunity from an earned media perspective to highlight the state of Florida to the rest of the world, which is good for job creation and tourism.
It's in Tampa, several hours away here from Jacksonville, but I imagine, the trickle down just from the economy and the boost. I mean, anytime you have a major event like this, whether it's a sporting event or the convention, it's got to be good for the state.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you so much, Lenny.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on this morning.